Do you want me to tell you the trivia now before I forget? Because I'm already kind of forgetting.
What trivia?
I have a thing. I bet you guys don't know, and I just learned it on Friday after listening to another podcast.
Okay, go ahead.
Are you ready? Brian's ready.
Born that way.
It feels like you're looking right into me. I'm just gonna block you out, like you're looking through the camera at me. All right. Who was the original and first voice actor for the Joker on the Batman animated show, like the 90s one?
Mark Hamill?
No, he wasn't the first one cast. It was Tim Curry.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jeremy.
Pre-stroke.
Oh, for sure. I mean, darn it.
Bruh.
I thought I would get you on that one. I was like, everyone knows Mark Hamill.
No.
And then
I think everybody that knows,
Troy Baker was the next one.
I think everybody
Troy
that
Baker
knows,
was for the Troy Baker was for the DC animated movies that have been coming out steadily on direct-to-video like for years now, and I just saw Justice Society, and it is amazing. It is a fantastic movie. So,
well, that ruined. All right, that's it for this episode, guys. Thank you for coming to the party. All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome. I'm gonna start over.
Really?
I almost said welcome to the party, but I was like, don't say invite the party first. Yeah, but it's all right. Here we go. Off the cuff. Here we go. Off my cuff. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Invite to Party podcast. I'm Jeremy, joined by my three beautiful babes.
I'm Bryan. I'm the
That's
one
you
with
guys.
the beard.
I'm Dave. I'm the one who's not a babe.
I'm Ray. Totally a babe.
Yeah.
You're all babes in my
Dave's
book.
a babe too. Don't let him fool you. He's a fucking.
And Jeremy's a literal babe because he's the child.
I'm the youngest by like a year. All right.
He's such a
like
he's such
Brian's
a
like
youngin'.
I'm wizened. You're like a year and a half older than me.
Wow.
You bum. You just had that manly beard. All right. I'm getting there slowly. I got that.
I can tell. It's been now 8 months that you haven't shaved, and it's like fuzzy now.
I trimmed yesterday. I was getting annoyed, and then I thought about just shaving, like not shaving, but like just buzzing all my hair off. Off.
That's what I do.
I thought about it.
Got several clippers inside to keep the dome.
I just want to do like a nice like 3 or 4, and just it gets annoying.
Why? Just go skin.
Running.
Just do it. Just pick it.
There's like I'm white, blue-eyed, skinhead. It's not. I don't know about that.
I don't know. I'm a Hispanic man. Bald head. It looks good. It's all right.
It does look good. And women find it apparently. I can find the study and put it in the description below. But
Okay.
Women find shaved head
You
men
won't.
more attractive and more masculine and like manly
Sure. Okay.
and
You
confident.
won't do that, right? No.
Huh?
Yeah. We're all saying that you won't do that. Although
Shave my head?
the stats. No.
I don't
We
want.
stats in the description, but you're not going to do it.
Oh, okay. Oh.
I'm not shaving my head because I need to be able to tell that my head's shaped like a peanut.
No.
Brian has been attacked
Magic.
by the girl from The Ring, apparently.
Camera's been assaulted. But yeah. So. Welcome to the Invite to Party podcast.
My camera fell into an empty coffee cup. Sorry.
Okay.
The usual.
It's like, wow, that was a horror movie. It was very Blair Witch of you right there. Thank you.
Yeah, so we're now into the post-blip part of the podcast since we no longer have any Disney Plus content to really carry the episode. So this will be referred to as post-blip podcast. I don't really know how to cope. I'm going to be honest. It's
What do you mean?
like I just
We
feel
have plenty of stuff. Hey, don't you have homework?
I did have homework, and I did it. It was actually Dave and I keep looking at Ray and thinking Bryan. I don't looking at Dave and Ray made me or in the process of making me watch movies from like the 80s maybe early 90s, mostly the 80s.
80s, 90s.
In order to
our
better
geek history.
understand them just as people and dorks, or nerds rather, not dorks, that's different etymology. Or is that bugs? I can't remember. Understand them better as nerds and where they come from and their evolution from, like little caterpillars into the full-fledged beautiful babes they are today. I don't know why I'm into that word right now. Sorry. Probably Sigourney Weaver. Am I right? But yeah, so this week I watched Ghostbusters, the 1984 film. And I liked it. I actually liked it. Normally I can't pay attention to movies. I find myself like not liking watching movies as much anymore. I don't know why. But yeah, I liked it. It's kind of weird. This is like a side thing, but I feel like I got so used to TV, and like the concept of a movie is so weird because TV has like 6, 8, 10 hours to like develop a story. But in Ghostbusters, they had like basically an hour and a half to like introduce characters, set up the plot and stuff, do like the rising action, and then like resolve it. And it's like, holy crap, like that's a lot of work to do in like such a short amount of time. Because even like movies now are like at least 2 hours.
Well,
minimum.
Arguably, that's better storytelling.
Yeah, as you say, they pulled it off.
I'm not going to say one format's superior to the other, but older movies, in order to be classics, they had to be able to do that and make you attached to the characters by the end. So it's fantastic storytelling and layered on top.
I mean, it has roots in theater. I mean, you're not sitting in the theater for 10 hours watching a story develop.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like those 3 acts have to happen in enough time that like it doesn't feel like you're there for an eternity.
Mm-hmm.
So,
also, most TV shows back then, you were watching them live with commercials, so you had like, you could go take a, go to the bathroom or something.
Yeah, and they talked about this on this podcast the other day. This other one, Watch, Play, Listen. But like TV is like the serialization or like the overarching story is relatively new compared to like TV as a whole, because it used to be like you had to be able to watch one episode and like get it all. You had to be able to watch out of order. So like it was like cyclical. There's no real like evolution of characters over time.
Correct.
But I feel like, in the 90s that started to change, maybe with like Buffy and stuff like that. Star Trek.
Certain shows challenged the format of that, and certain shows failed. We got one season of Firefly, even though it had really strong character development, all distributed out of order.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but yeah, circling back to Ghostbusters. I enjoyed it a lot. I thought it was pretty funny. I'm trying to. Bill Murray just seemed like kind of like a smarmy dick, but almost like he didn't want to be there, but he was still having a good time. I don't know. It was like he was like joke, like meta joke, like this movie's goofy. Who's on Discord?
What?
I have to quit Discord because it keeps beeping at me. Oh, I have headphones in. Never mind. Bill Murray was good. It didn't feel like that 80s to me, because like when you watch, I mean, it does feel 80s, but like when you watch other 80s movies, maybe like the stuff from who did 16 Candles?
John
Hughes.
Yeah, if you watch that, it's like, holy shit, this is 80s. But this is like, I don't know, it didn't really have like the kind of like cringy 80s humor. Well, a little bit in the beginning where he's like hitting on his student, like that, that toxic power.
That's because nerds are timeless.
But it's true. It's true. But beyond that, I mean, it was great. I did not know Sigourney Weaver was in it. I don't know why, because I've seen parts of it in the past, but like that skipped. She's hot. Also 5'11", out of my league, unfortunately. Unless she likes short guys. Hit me up. And the other thing I noticed was like the effects are like, you can tell like it's kind of goofy, but like CG from the 80s, I imagine looked pretty terrible. So I'm glad they used practical effects.
The first fully realized CG character in a movie was in young Sherlock Holmes.
Young Sherlock Holmes. That's what I meant.
It was the stained glass knight that comes out of the window. Correct. During the nightmare scene with that was all done in CGI. But I don't know what year that was. And then also the opening of Labyrinth, the owl flying, I think was around the same time.
Oh
And
yeah.
I think that was ILM.
And I think that was later than Ghostbusters. I think they
Ghostbusters is all practical effects, all done with stop animation or compositing.
Yeah.
Compositing film layers over things like that.
Yeah.
So I thought it looked fine. Like the Slimer, he looks good, and like they have like close ups, and it's like old,
there is one scene in it where Slimer is going around the chandelier that it's just a green painted peanut.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's also like the worst probably composite scene in it, I think, is the view from the gargoyle down onto the street when Dana's getting out of the cab with her groceries. You can actually see through the composite of the like edge of the building and the gargoyle. Like you can see through it because it like you have to play a fine line with compositing between making something super like crisp and the transparency of it. Similar to like in Star Wars when you look in Empire Strikes Back and when they're in the snow speeders, you can see through like the cockpit arms while they're flying around like that the big walkers because you couldn't cut those edges so tight within the composites, so you had to use transparency to hide those like blends.
Man, I'll have to go back through and watch.
Yeah,
I never noticed that
because I've seen this movie like I would say 100 times, which is still 1,000 times less than Dave, and I've never seen that. Like I was so lost at the movie when I watch it.
Yeah, it was enjoyable. I like how quick it moved. It was almost weird because like they just ignored things like that were fine. Like I feel like a lot of movies nowadays go real deep into like the origin, and then it's like quick through the action, and then like the end. But like, where did they get like the guy just had like the gun things just like lying around? He's just a genius, and he had those.
Found it. He's a genius. They explain that he's a genius. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like they didn't have like the whole like he's building this. Like they didn't have a scene like a
they did have
like
one
a
scene where
montage
he's
of
building it. When they're talking about the last of the petty cash and they're sitting around with the Chinese food.
Mm-hmm.
You actually see Egon in that scene, like he has a screwdriver. He's working on one of the neutrino wands in that scene.
I did not know.
So he's building it. Yeah, he's building it in the movie. So they do allude to it, but yeah, it's not like Tony Stark, where half the movie is him, hammering on a piece of metal.
And learning life lessons along the way. Storytelling has changed quite a great deal because a lot of the movies that you're going to be watching on this list don't have like details on stuff. They're not plot holes. They're just the movie makers said, who gives a shit? I need to tell you this whole story. Stop focusing here. You know what I mean? So it was a different brand of storytelling where storytelling a little bit hyper focused and detail oriented.
They get by in Ghostbusters a lot with what you don't see on screen. Them building, they make up with in the aesthetic of what they built. I mean, the proton pack looks like something that you could build in a garage.
Yeah,
because they did.
They basically took parts from different like parts stores out in LA. From like aircraft, junkyards and that kind of stuff and electronics. And they cobbled together proton packs. Same with the Ecto one. A lot of the stuff you see there is all stuff like out of like airplanes and stuff. Like they just kind of cobbled it together into something that looked cool. So they tried to do that again in the 2016 movie, and it looks like steampunkish almost.
Too many moving parts.
But like I think that kind of makes up for it. So you get it tells the props tell the story that you're not seeing on the screen.
The thing I thought was kind of weird was they introduced Winston, right?
Yes.
They like in like the last third of the movie, which seemed kind of
odd. The reason behind that is that was actually supposed to be Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be in the movie as the fourth Ghostbuster from the beginning. When he couldn't do the film, they recast it with Ernie Hudson, and they cut down the part, unfortunately, to what you see. He was originally supposed to be, part of the group from the beginning.
He was also supposed to be.
John Belushi was supposed to be in it.
Yeah.
And then they replaced him with Bill Murray after Belushi passed away. So there was definitely some. There could have been a different movie out there that was Ghostbusters. I don't know if
Release the Snyder cut.
No,
there is no Snyder cut because he passed away beforehand. But there is definitely a expanded treatment for the movie, because when Dan Aykroyd writes a movie, he writes a phone book, and it takes somebody else usually to cut that down into manageable slices. So if you look at Ghostbusters, which he penned, it took Harold Ramis and Ivan Reitman, to do a pass on it, because originally the Ghostbusters were going to be hopping through dimensions. The Ecto one was going to be black with purple lights. They were going to be dressed more like SWAT personnel with like actual wands that looked like batons, in like face shields and stuff, and like they were going to be like more of like a brute squad. So there was definitely it definitely took a turn.
Yeah, I like the Exterminator look.
Yeah, like they became more like a everyday, like you said, like a exterminator or a garbage man. You know what I mean? Like a blue collar worker.
Which I like that aesthetic.
Yeah.
They definitely did a good job with.
It lent itself more to a comedy movie.
I mean, he did the same thing with the Blues Brothers. He wrote like, a phone book, like the Bible. There was a lot more. Some of those deleted scenes are still, some of those deleted scenes are still around for both movies, but they were definitely cut down. Like John Landis cut down the Blues Brothers and made it more manageable and palatable. So,
hey Dave, I got a question, and this is for Jeremy. Wasn't Winston originally supposed to be like ex-military in their security in one of the versions?
Yeah, they allude to that.
Yeah.
And in the comics go deeper into it, how he was like an ex-Marine, like he was a retired Marine and looking for work back in New York City, and like he was like, gonna be the the more military side of things, like
the straight
tactical
guy
and stuff, and then like they actually in both the comics and then in the video game that followed, for PlayStation 3 and stuff, with all the original cast returning, like all the original Ghostbusters, he actually earns his PhD and he becomes a doctor too, just like the rest of them and stuff. And he's on
That's very cool.
He has equal, like, billing in the video game. So like
I don't need to start carrying around a Justice for Winston placard or anything.
I think you do, because in a lot of like the advertisements and stuff, like hashtag Where's Winston, like the original movie poster just had the three of them on it. It's kind of shitty. Like, Ernie's definitely a part of the crew, and he definitely had a reduced part, which kind of sucks. But again, he was kind of an unknown, I guess.
Honestly,
he had been out like
favorite lines
on the ferry and stuff, but like I don't know what his full filmography was when he got that job. But
I think the line that got the most laughs in my house between myself and my sister repeatedly was "Tell 'em about the Twinkie." You know what I mean? And it always makes me chuckle anytime I see someone picking up a Twinkie. I immediately hit that line again in my head. So
we got you.
I enjoy Winston's line. I've seen shit that would turn you white.
You white, yes.
And the trial thing with the EPA guy, or the mayor and the EPA guy, which I thought was a very 80s cliche. It's like, I feel like in a lot of 80s movies, like the authority figure, even if like they're right, like the EPA guy, like he's just doing his job. I'm sure there's plenty of like places in New York that were just like, dumping trash and like not, he's doing a good job. But it's funny, like they're always the bad guy, even if like they're doing like even the NYE professors at the beginning, like he's wasting funds that they have for the professors, like clearly not doing like his actual job and like creating phony research that's not going to go anywhere. That's like falsifying data or whatever. So like they were right to kick him out of the NYU or wherever the colleges they had. But he looks like the bad guy because he was like, smarmy dick when he's like, we're kicking you out of the school. But I just thought that was a funny 80s thing where.
Yeah, it's much like WandaVision, where Sword was actually right the whole time, but they get made out to be the bad guy. It's like that trope of kind of flipping those expectations, because it's damn the man. So,
oh no, I had a question. I think I can't remember who said it. Ray, I think, said it. That's the guy's name, right? Dan Aykroyd is Ray.
yes.
Okay. Yes. Got it. Yes.
Good for
he
you.
said he was at Camp Wakanda, right?
Camp Wikini or
I could have thought. I swear to God, he said Wakanda. If it's just about, I just thought I was like Wakanda. Is that I didn't know if like Black Panther was like around and Wakanda was around then.
Okay, actually, I have a question for Jeremy. Now that you've seen this movie and you enjoyed it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you find this enjoyable?
Yeah.
Are you going to check out the sequel, Ghostbusters 2, and are you more excited for Ghostbusters Afterlife that's coming out?
I probably won't watch Ghostbusters 2.
Okay.
Maybe. But I do want to see Ghostbusters Afterlife. I do want to see that.
It's Camp Wakanda, but it's with a C. Wakanda. Wakanda.
I thought that was like
C-O-N.
nerd culture.
Yeah, no, he wasn't chilling out with T'Challa around the campfire, roasting Stay Puft marshmallows and singing songs.
I thought, when I was watching, I was like, man, I wish they like made. There was an animated show, right? But I kind of wish they made like a live action show. Like this could have been a cool season. Like they're different ghosts. They're capturing like, the monster of the week or whatever. And
there is talk about a Ghostbusters TV show coming out. I think it'll really depend on how Afterlife does.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're also going to see
decent. Yeah. If it does, I can imagine them not, because it can't be that expensive as long as they get great comedic actors for it.
The cartoon.
I think that we're also
going
to see. Yeah, well, that's because it was written by J. Michael Straczynski.
I remember watching
almost the whole first season,
but I don't remember it specifically.
I have the box set of it. It's hard to find now, but it's definitely worth getting if you can get your hands on it. It's one of the few 80s cartoons that holds up. I will. There's a special place in hell for people that like the Filmation
Ghostbusters.
It's just a fucking.
Did I watch that?
So
I don't know which one I saw.
Let me put it to you this way, and I have friends that consistently to this day make fun of me or like get me gifts that are from the Filmation Ghostbusters, or sing the goddamn theme song when I'm around. Because like I told the story like a while back to a bunch of my friends how like we used to have TV Guide, and I know you young bucks probably don't understand what TV Guide
is.
That.
I know what TV Guide is. Yeah.
If there's nothing else to read on the toilet, I'd flip through it. Like, what the fuck is this?
They used to have like listings and shit, right? And it would say Ghostbusters on Saturday morning, and you get all excited and you tune in, and inevitably it would be the goddamn Filmation Ghostbusters. It was such a fucking letdown because who wants to see that stupid fucking monkey and Chitty Chitty Bang Bang driving around solving fucking crime Scooby Doo style? I wanted to see my boys Stan Spankman, Spangler, and Zedmore. I didn't want to see these stupid asses. So like, it would piss me off. Like I would be upset. Like as a kid, I'd be like, probably crying in my Smurf cereal or whatever the fuck I
have to agree with you. The first time it happened to me, because they were on at different times of different channels. The first time I got them confused and mixed up, I was like, oh, well, that's poop. Like in my like 8 or 9-year-old head, I'm saying that's just like poops and stuff. I hate this. Like same thing happened. I understand.
Yeah, like I didn't understand the concept of like TV stations when I was that young, or what like times. Like I just looked in the TV Guide and what's on Saturday morning. Like there were certain shows that you knew because like I get up at 7 and this show's on, or I get home from school at 4 and when I get home,
Buffy,
whatever is playing.
Yep.
But like when I was that young, when this was out, I look at the TV Guide. Oh, Ghostbusters, sweet! You turn it on, and it's that stupid. Let's go, Ghostbusters! Let's go! You just want to just punch babies. Just.
Yeah, if it's not who you gonna call, you know what I'm saying? It's
maybe being punched.
So, what else did you get out of the movie? Anything?
Oh,
interesting or insights?
I wrote it down twice. Rick Moranis steals the show in his.
Oh
scenes,
my
I think.
God! Yes,
He's so funny. He's so funny, and like oh man, like he's just like it's so natural the way he like act. It didn't feel like he's reading dialogue. It just felt like he was like being that
was
guy.
him. Yeah.
So I wrote it down like the first time you see him, I was like, Rick Moranis is hilarious. And then like the second time, like where he's at the party he's hosting, like I was laughing out loud. And he was hilarious. Oh,
I
man.
wish he didn't stop acting
because I don't have any friends.
He did because of family issues.
Oh, I know. I know why.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I know why. I know why he stopped.
Do you know who originally was supposed to play that part?
No.
John Candy.
Yep.
But he turned it down. There was like a scheduling conflict or whatever. But he was going to play it as like this German guy with like small dogs and stuff, and he was going to be a completely different.
I can see
tone.
that. I can.
Wasn't it for Uncle Buck? He turned it down.
I forget what movie exactly it was, but there was something that went on, and Rick Moranis came in late to the show, and
well, both of
like
them
you
are
said,
in
he's a
Spaceballs.
huge part of it. Oh yeah, I mean they were friends. They were in SCTV and all kinds.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's great. He stole the scenes from me. He's awesome.
Jeremy,
Plus,
have
I
you
like
ever seen
Strange Brew,
Spaceballs?
No, that's the one you told me I have to watch. I've seen parts of it on TV, but I've never.
Oh, so there's going to be a sequel to this list of Brian's top 5 for you then?
I had it written down the thing because he said Spaceballs when we first started talking about it.
Okay.
Yeah, overall I liked it.
Spaceballs.
I wish there was a TV show, and I'll see the new one.
Really, we should just hook Jeremy to a chair, like what Alex from Clockwork Orange, right? With those things, right? Yeah. And then we should just make him watch like all the Mel Brooks movies. From
Young Frankenstein.
But I'm talking Blazing Saddles. I'm talking Spaceballs. I'm talking Robin Hood Men in Tights. I'm talking silent movie.
I'm watching Blazing Saddles after this over my second cup of coffee. That's right. That's exactly what I'm going to do.
You guys have seen everything I've seen, so I don't think there's something I can make you guys do.
Well, Jeremy, you're still not through the list, so I wouldn't worry about it.
I'm not. I'll have to figure out what I'm going to watch.
I'm slowly compiling a list of 5 movies for Jeremy to watch after. Maybe I should make it 10 since you're going to, after you finish yours,
I will take 4 years to finish that.
Yeah.
10 movies?
We've gone through, 2, 3 things on the list of 10?
Conan, the first one. I don't remember.
Conan.
Conan was
the second one. I think Conan was a...
No.
Oh, Clerks. I watched Clerks.
Yeah, Clerks was the first.
Clerks was the second.
Conan was the second.
Clerks, Conan, and then this guy. So I got 7 more down.
Did you watch?
7 down.
Did you watch Top Gun?
Down, 7 to go. Not yet, no. I was going to do it, but then I was alternating because that was one of Ray's
he has to go back. No, that was one of mine.
I've been bouncing back and forth.
You got to go back to Ray's list now.
Yeah, so I can watch Top Gun this week. And the new one has Miles Teller.
I'm going to tell you right now.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that was one of the reasons I put Top Gun on there. It's just so that we can like arm wrestle you into going to see the new one when it comes out.
Oh, I want to see the new one. I like Tom Cruise, and I like Miles Teller, so I'll see anything with him in it.
Miles Teller, I like. I'm just going to leave that there.
Goonies next.
I do pirate references. All right, so that's it for
Goonies and Monster Squad on my list, didn't I?
Yeah.
Good luck. Enjoy.
What, like just finding it or watching it?
No, they're both really easy watches. I got to be on everything I put on there.
They're
very easy, enjoyable watches,
and they're really good.
Have you guys watched Tree of Life?
Tree of Life?
With
what
Brad
kind
Pitt?
of crap is that?
It's amazing.
Who's in it?
I think like, you guys should have to watch that in retaliation for making me do this.
Tell you what, Jeremy, if you get one movie done a week for the rest of the Ray and my list and don't miss any weeks, I'll watch your damn movie. How's that sound?
Tree of Life. All right.
You can't miss a week. One movie a week. And if you make it through that gauntlet, I will watch your Tree of Life.
Oh, is that? Okay. Yes, I know what you mean. It's 139 minutes. Yeah. Okay. This is the movie that a whole bunch of reviewers said, why was this even made? But go ahead. Yeah. Thanks for that, Jeremy.
It's great.
Great.
I love it. You're just going to like it. It's a vibe. It's a vibe movie. All right. Yeah. So that's it for the name of this segment. Insert here, editor. Put down the footnotes. Dave and Ray and Bryan by extension. Oh yeah, Bryan. Wait, do you cosplay as a Ghostbuster?
Yes, no. Not any specific Ghostbuster, but I do have a flight suit. And that's
okay.
Really
I have
one of the proton packs from Spirit Halloween store, but I haven't modified it yet. It's literally still in the box over there. And I bought one of the Walmart ghost traps that has the foot pedal.
Hell yeah! You know what? It's about the energy, not the prop. That's what I always said.
All right.
Always.
Yeah.
So yeah. Oh
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Now it's time for. Wait, did you guys read the question I put?
Yes.
No. All right. Do you think? I'm looking at you disappointingly, even though you're not looking at me. I'm the associate professor of archaeology, and I have because I'm not tenured yet, like Ray.
You know, this question is anthropological, not archaeological, right?
Mm-hmm. It's I'm a sociologist. We're looking at
That was my first major, by the way.
Anthro?
Yeah.
I didn't know an anthro major. They killed themselves.
Wow.
I'm just kidding. They did.
He's one of the weak.
Woo! Hot takes already. That's what I wanted. Let's go. This is Jeremy's quality query. Since we don't have Ray's quizzical.
I can't believe you didn't make me say it because you forgot what it was already.
No, I'm looking at it right now.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you actually use your notes. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I make notes for most episodes in my notes
But you don't
app.
look at them. You make me say it.
Yeah, but I like it when you say it. I just like how it rolls off your tongue.
Wow.
It's real slick. Yeah. Slick tongues. All right.
Yeah.
I listened to a lot of podcasts like during the week because I spent a lot of time, like a good amount of time driving, and I'm alone, and you can't listen to music for super long.
I can't.
While you're driving.
Hours of it, but go ahead.
But I like listening to podcasts. But yeah, so they were talking about, I can't remember which one it was, but they were talking about like, what is a gamer? And I was like, what is a gamer? Like, because it used to be like almost derogatory, like, fucking gamer. What are you, gamer? Fucking eating Cheetos and Mountain Dew in your basement? Yeah, gamer. But now, like, literally, I'm pretty sure like everyone's a gamer. Like, at least people play games on their phone. Unless you don't consider that a gamer. I don't know. That's what I kind of want to talk about. Like mobile, Fortnite, blah, 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 whatever.
I think a gamer is somebody who enjoys games. I think there's a lot of other labels that could be attached to that, like a tabletop gamer, a video game gamer, a mobile gamer. I'm not here to like be the troll guarding the bridge of welcoming into the gamerverse. You know what I mean? So I think that I think it's like if you self-identify as a gamer, then you are one.
You don't think it's kind of weird though, because like no one's like, "Hey, I'm a movier" or "I'm a televisioner."
No, they say I'm a movie buff.
Yeah.
Or
but that's like someone who's like really deep into it. So that's kind of like, is a gamer someone who's really deep into games, or is my mom or whoever my daddy plays?
I think it's a label. Like I said, if you self-identify as a gamer, you're a gamer. I don't think anybody has to be there to check your knowledge. You know what I mean? If I say that I love movies, I love movies. That's just a different way of saying, like, I could say movier, but that just sounds like you're
Here's
sandwich is short of a picnic. But
just to say why people don't call it a movie or a TVer is because gaming is active action, whereas watching a movie or watching a TV show is passive. So you're actively doing something as a gamer. You know, linguistically, that's the reason why.
Yeah, I'm a watcher.
See, he's actively watching.
I am a consumer of media.
I am a pop culturist. I'll take it all.
What about you, Brian? I want to know how you feel.
Kind of like
he woke him out of his slumber.
Yeah.
I agree. Yes. What about?
I do have something to bring up though about this historically. Historically, okay, gamer is a newer word. It's a newer type or phrase. When in the before times, people used to play Magic and D&D and stuff. You were a D&D nerd, or you were a Magic dweeb, or you were, whatever it was a negative connotation. Okay. Gamer became a positive connotation after things started hitting mainstream. In the last,
but I mean, there was also the positive spin on that, where you were a role player, you were a Magic player. It might not have been gamer, like that wasn't the nomenclature of the day, but player was definitely, I'm a Nintendo player,
sure,
or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's just the natural progression is just getting game in there to you're playing a game.
Sure,
you're not playing an instrument. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I'm not.
I do agree with Dave, though. Anybody that self-identifies can just do what they're going to do. Some people act like the gatekeepers, which is a good caveat to bring up as well, Dave. Stop doing that.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I was like, I'm not a fan of this topic because of that. Because there's too many people out there that'll fight somebody else who's like, oh, I only play games on mobile, and then that person will be like, well, then you're not a gamer, and I'm like, yeah, but yes, they are. They're a mobile gamer.
Right.
There's no defining quality, other than what Dave said.
Except for self-defining.
Yeah, exactly. Except the self-defining. If you self-identify as a gamer, then you are a gamer.
Yeah, and like I think one thing people have to understand if they're listening, all three people that are listening to the podcast, when we're joking around between the four of us about Jeremy being completely inept at 80s trivia, like we're not gatekeeping him. We're not saying that he's not a nerd. I mean, he's not, but no, I'm just kidding. But it's good-natured ribbing between friends. There's a world of difference between that and you see somebody with a Skeletor shirt and you're going to start quizzing them on He-Man and the Masters of the Universe.
Yeah. Don't do that. Just ask them if they're a fan. Talk to them. Like don't quiz, don't judge. I actually see this because we're in Harley Davidson land a lot of times. I've seen people that actively sell their off-brand motorcycles just to get a Harley so they're not ridiculed in public anymore, believe it or not. And that's like $1,000 in a decision to be bullied by. Let people enjoy whatever it is that they're going to enjoy. And I don't want this to be an anti-bullying segment, and I want to go back to the topic, but that's the truth.
Yeah, it is.
Unless they're friends of yours, then bully them mercilessly about their love of Booster Gold, because Booster Gold sucks.
Like monkeys and Ghostbusters.
He knows.
I wish we had gotten like a female or a woman on the show, just because I feel like they get it a lot more. Like if they're like, I'm a gamer, they're like, oh yeah, well, have you beaten Call of Duty on Veteran? Have you beaten?
Yeah, I've actually seen
who that is.
I've seen that reflected quite a bit in role-playing games and tabletop and things like that, because they might be the only girl at the table or whatever. They'll either passively get picked on or passively ignored because everybody's actively trying not to pick on them.
Which is hilarious. Like when we're playing Pathfinder, I know Liz knows a shit ton more about Pathfinder than I will ever know. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
she's like the most knowledgeable as far as rules and everything, and I'm just like, I refer to the expert, please.
Speaking of
Yeah,
Liz,
I mean-
what is she
Well, that's
doing?
the
Does she
funny
want to
thing.
weigh in on this?
Oh.
Hey, let's sub someone in.
All right.
I'll be
Well,
right.
real
Yeah.
quick, while we're grabbing Liz, like I just wanted to say that, like, as somebody who's been to Gen Con and Origins and stuff, I see this behavior a lot with dudes, and it's hilarious because these are the same guys that are like, why aren't there any chicks around at these conventions?
Because you guys all
And
act
they
like
drive them
assholes.
the fuck out, like, by
Yeah.
being a dick
Yeah.
to them. Like, have your arms open and accept them all, and let them be a part of the fun. Like, that's what they want.
Look, if somebody shows an interest in gaming, you bring them in. Jeremy shows an interest in gaming, different types, not video. Bring them in, right? I'm going to show them. That's it. And now you have another person to play with, assholes. Okay? So let's see what he says. You guys continue talking. I'll be right back.
No problem.
The only thing that defines somebody as a fan is themselves. If they identify as a fan, it just means they like something.
Yeah.
You don't have to have this dick measuring contest of who's the bigger fan of whatever. You know what I mean?
There are people
Like I said, and we're not talking about that self-ribbing between like groups of friends. You know what I mean? Like, that's
Marco?
you'll always have that, because it's fun. But like when you're meeting a stranger for the first time, it just doesn't make sense to shit on them because they like the same thing you do. Like, why
Yeah.
would you do that? Like, that's one of the things I love about going to like Kevin Smith events and standing in line for, you meet all kinds of fans. You have the fans that are day one fans that are so excited to be going to their first show. And then you have like the people that have been going, for years that you recognize because you see them so often.
And then you have the closet fans that didn't really know they were a fan until recently.
Right. Yeah. And they're all equally valid, and they're all awesome to hang out with.
Mm-hmm. That's what I like about conventions, like, because you can go to a convention, see somebody wearing a T-shirt, and talk to them about that thing. Or I've seen somebody with a pin on their backpack, and I would talk to somebody about something, and just random strangers, and you can have good conversations without picking it apart.
I was just wondering because it's like the evolution, because gamer, like the group of people who played video games used to be a lot smaller, but now it's basically, I would say pretty much everybody. Everybody's a gamer basically. So like if a word describes everybody, is it a good word to like?
Well, I think that's where you get the subgenres. You can break it down into specifics. If you want to self-identify as that, if you want to just say gamer, that's cool. But like,
Would you
for
say
me, if somebody says that I'm a gamer, to me, my first instinct would be, oh, what kind of games do you play?
Exactly.
Because I want to know more about that. The gamer is such a wide, like you said, wide category that I'd like that narrowed down. And there, you might fit into multiple categories. I mean, I play video games. I also play a ton of tabletop. I play role playing games. I play, you know what I mean? So like I could, talk about any of those with somebody. But I'm not going to talk about role playing games if somebody has no interest in that and they're a video gamer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, I think you need those subgenres to kind of like focus in on that area of your preferences.
I'd even go as far as saying, as some people who have not played a game but have read up on all the lore, like there are people who love Halo who have never played the games but have read all the books.
I just read a thing from a guy from Kotaku who knows his favorite character. He's read Fall of Reach like 1 million times, but he's only played like an hour of Halo ever. But he's a huge fan. That's crazy. Did you just read that too?
No, I just came up with that.
No, that's so weird. That's crazy.
There he is.
We have a guest.
I have
You
been.
have luxurious locks. I knew you were wearing a ball cap this whole time. I knew it. There's no way.
You look so different.
Smooth. Yeah. So did Ray tell you what we're talking about?
No, he told me nothing.
Right, so
really?
Basically, Bryan's looking to get a sex change operation, and he's wondering if he should keep the beard after the change or not. No, but we're actually talking
he'll
about
have a great career in the circus, but he seems to not want to be a carny.
There's a lot more understanding about PCOS these days that women with beards are more socially acceptable.
There you go, Bryan. Do what makes you feel good. But we're talking about basically. I had a question about since gamer, like, what is someone's definition of gamer? Since like everybody's basically a gamer nowadays, like, is that a good word to use? And then we were talking about gatekeeping, and then that led into the tendency for basically men to whenever a woman is like, hey, I'm a gamer, I like games, and then they have the tendency to be like, oh yeah, well, have you done X, Y, and Z? Like, if you beat Halo Legendary, do you play first person shooters? What's your kill death ratio? Like, are you a real gamer? But like, it tends to be mostly with women. So we were just curious, like, what your personal experience was with that.
I have experienced that across all game formats. And it doesn't matter how experienced, how knowledgeable, you are always going to run into somebody who is going to want to mansplain.
Mm-hmm.
Well, according to my calculations, that's correct.
It doesn't matter if I have been gaming longer than they have been alive. It doesn't matter if I have deep insight from people who actually have made the games. It really doesn't matter. It isn't about gaming culture so much as it is about the fact that misogyny is still present in our society. And that was an area where, because gaming was so focused in a male sort of environment, and a lot of people who even know the original D&D and the group that played it knows that they were very adamant about all of the characters being male. That the books were written in a male perspective. It was a he perspective. And the she's were always sort of these sexualized characters or things like harpies or naga or monsters that were sexualized. So it attracted in the beginning a certain type of male energy. And when women started to
neckbeards,
when women started to adapt the culture and find interest in gaming, and the game started to change, that beginning culture that attracted the misogynistic sort of energy felt threatened. And so I don't think that gaming is necessarily the problem. I think where gaming started is the problem.
Yeah. I can agree with that.
Do you feel like it's changed over time at all? Like, has it gotten better?
Yes. Yeah.
Because
there's a lot more understanding, and there has been this influx of other people, so that over time you just can't add the same ratio of misogynistic tendencies to just genuine gamers. There's not enough. Quite frankly, there's not enough assholes in this world to make up for all of the gamers.
We're diluting the asshole ratio. Let's go, everybody. Do you feel like it's still, or do you experience like more so? Like, I feel like there's certain genres or like types of gaming that are still kind of like, not like dork strongholds, but like definitely a lot less people do tabletop or like board games than video games at this point. I mean, that's changing over time too with the popularity of like
really is,
D&D streamers and stuff. It's crazy how it's blown up. But do you still feel like there's certain areas in which it's an issue?
I think that probably still the biggest area of conflict, of course, would be first-person shooters.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And fighters.
Huh. Okay.
Things there. That is a place where I think that attracts a much more technical gamer, and they expect everybody to be a technical gamer and a number cruncher and somebody looking at their FPS and their timing, and that's that's an area where I think that's more elitism. And that's a hard thing to get into no matter what your gender. But of course, I would say if there is any sort of game genre, as far as video games, where you are immediately going to be verbally attacked for your gender before anything else, it's probably first-person shooters. Outside of video games, it's I would say it's either something like 40K or card games, like a Yu-Gi-Oh or anything like that. So
40K, I feel like is starting to get less niche, like with the deluge of games. As
that was always
like just the knowledge
definitely
of the
culture. Most popular of the large format wargaming that's out there.
That was always a little bit niche anyway, because it's expensive to get into, and you're required again to not only have a high level of technical knowledge, but painting skills. You got to have the time and the money to paint those things.
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't even consider.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at just look at like the Call of Duty tournaments that are going on right now, like the Call of Duty League CDL. Like I don't think I've seen a female player in the tournament. And,
when
like FaZe and all them. Like
when I was doing a lot more first-person shooters, when I was still PC gaming, I actually one of my big go-tos was I was a what the game called?
Counter-Strike, Rainbow Six.
No, it was cartoony. It had the pyro, the
Team Fortress 2.
Team Fortress 2. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
don't know why I blanked on. I was a hardcore TF2 player and competitive. And when I looked for a guild, it was very difficult to find one. And I ended up getting into a pretty good one, but it required that I jumped through all of these like hoops. It was literally like I was rushing a fraternity. And when I finally got in, I was one of only 2 girls in the Brotherhood of Slaughter.
Mm-hmm.
There were only 2 of us.
Even the name is
and it was a brotherhood.
We don't like women.
Brotherhood. Oh, that's crazy. Yeah. That's oh my God.
Yeah,
I'm
but I'm still friends with a lot of those guys. And it was really interesting because once you got in, once you jumped through all those hoops and you proved that you had a certain amount of gaming knowledge and technical knowledge and a certain level of skill, then you were a brother. It didn't matter.
But they definitely like made you do more than like likely what a guy would have had to go through.
I have no idea if the recruitment requirements were there for everybody or just to mess with me. And quite honestly, I didn't care because I had a lot of fun doing them. And actually, I learned a lot. I learned a lot about how to play the sound bites inside, how to do the stamps and everything like that. So, and instead of just being the chick that ran in and lit everything on fire, I learned some skills. I learned how to rocket jump. I learned all sorts of things from those guys. But I still had to be
I'm thinking of what
brother.
Yeah. I'm thinking of your comment about like first person shooters and stuff. And I'm just off the top of my head, I was thinking about like my game time playing Call of Duty Cold War and playing as a woman. Not me playing as a woman, but imagining playing as a woman. I haven't heard, I don't think a single woman, maybe one person. So like if you can't even talk because like a bunch of, well, no, I would say 13-year-olds, but I'm sure like act like legitimate like men would do this as well, would be like, oh, it's a girl. So like if you can't even talk to like get that connection with people, like you're going to have a bad time. Yeah. Even if it's just a trash talk. So
I think there's a lot less talking in general on Cold War though, just because you don't stay in the same lobby game to game. Back in the day when you stayed in the same lobby, there was a lot more shit talking, like in between
in parties. Before they instituted parties, Halo 2 was toxic as shit.
Yeah, because you could end up
that's why they
with
made
the same
parties,
group of people sometimes for hours.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's actually a good thing overall for women, because like even if you have some guy who's a dick, like, you're going to be separated in the next match anyway.
I think it's because we definitely played with women. There's no way I played 200 hours without playing with women, because they're like over 50% of gamers are women. It's crazy.
And stuff when I'm playing by myself, because usually we're in a party and I don't hear anybody because I prefer it that way.
From what I've heard back when I played, now I haven't played games like that in quite a while, but back when I played, if women did talk, sometimes they would use voice changers. They would use the voice modulating. Because and you could tell that their voice was digitized. You could tell it was like an effects voice, but it was really probably one of the only ways that you could get around talking to your group and not getting the it's a girl.
Yeah. I have a question I just thought of. So now, like, I don't know if it's more so now, but I would say maybe like 5-10 years ago, when somebody said, "Oh, that girl's a gamer or a gamer girl," they would think, "Oh, RPGs, not FPSs and stuff like that." Do you think that is because the girls were driven out of the FPSs because of the misogyny, or just because they prefer those games anyway?
I think that the environment made it much more difficult for women to incorporate themselves into that game genre. So I think it happened at a slower pace, and I think it's still not quite there. But it's definitely better. Back when I played Battlefield, it was awful. It was absolutely awful. But now, you can find even a lot of streamers that they don't get as much crap as I remember getting back in the day. But it doesn't mean that the balance is as equal as it is in other genres. And I think it's just because it's a slower transition. It's also, those are also games where they tend to attract a certain kind of energy where a person wants
sweat gods.
They want things precise.
That's fair. Yeah.
They want things to go exactly as planned, And if you are just learning, you get no leeway. And if you are a girl just learning, they immediately jump to the assumption that not only do you get no leeway because you're new, but you're not ever going to be good at this because you're a girl. So let's get her out of the game because all she's going to do is ruin our stats.
Yeah.
See, I don't play FPSs for stats. I don't play a lot of FPSs because there's a lot of competitive and sweatiness that I just don't like. I can't get behind that. Like, I listen to these guys play Call of Duty in a party, and I'm just like, you're not making this enjoyable for me.
Games for different reasons. All right.
Yeah, I do.
You play first-person shooters to get hype and get angry.
I don't.
I get annoyed when I'm like destroying. Like, I could have a 2.5 KD, and if I get killed, I'm still like, fuck. That's.
I don't.
Because sometimes you need that.
I don't want to feel that way.
If I had to say there was anything that got me out of FPSs, it was that anger, and it was
sometimes
lose me.
Sometimes it's nice to feel anger towards something that you're allowed to be angry at. You know what I mean?
I guess it could be a form of stress
I'm like
relief,
angry. I'm just like annoyed or like frustrated with my performance. I just like the fun I get. I don't think the game itself is inherently fun. I mean, it's cool. Like, it's very satisfying when you get like when you kill like the whole team. You get like a string of like perfect kills or like headshots. Or whatever, and, like, your
those little
awards,
ding, ding, ding. There's instant gratification. Those are little bits of happy emotions right there.
Yeah, but I feel like the biggest happiness or like the biggest like yes, like the enjoyment I get from COD is just like the competitive aspect, like you versus someone else, like, and like, you know, hopefully dominating and like being the best. Like, but that's the fun. It's not like the fun is winning, I guess.
Yeah, like I actually. Oh, sorry.
The thing that got me, the thing that gave me joy in those things was I realized was a very toxic thing about me. I love revenge. Like,
I do like that.
I do like revenge medals.
I plot revenge on a level that is borderline criminal. And then I never follow through because I'm inherently.
Do you want me to cut this out so that like you don't get
we don't
arrested?
have to talk about this, Liz, because I know there's some conversations that I've had with you about revenge against certain people that we don't want to.
No, we don't.
Yeah, we're recording now. We might not want this on record.
Let's just say I've scared members of my family when I talked about plans at one point. So we just leave that in the past.
I think that like as far as the fun to anger ratio, I think that's why I like Warzone better, because it's not as like there's still the tension there, but it's not just a constant meat grinder of dying repeatedly. So there's like tension of being hunted and hunting, but not the constant death after death after death that would result in spiraling out into a maddening anger rage. You only have like that brief interlude where you're like, fuck, I died. You know what I mean? And then you're good to start over again.
That's exactly what it sounds like too. That was a perfect recreation.
I get that from Smite now. I go into Smite and I play whatever sort of deity I want, and then I go and I either blast somebody out of the park or they blast me out of the park, and then I get, I hop into the next match, and sometimes I get my revenge and sometimes I don't. But there's less consequence. There's less of a feeling of loss and consequence when you do get smoked.
That's how I feel about Halo multiplayer, like the original Halo multiplayers. I don't feel.
Wait, are we talking about Halo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just gonna hate. Gameplay June.
But yeah.
I love you, Brian. I'm just kidding.
I love Halo.
Or am I?
Halo?
I don't know.
Ray in the background. They're talking about Halo.
Yeah, he said he knew it wasn't Dave, so. Damn it, Brian.
Sorry, and it comes up every episode, I think.
Is there like a change you'd like to see in gaming? Like,
I'm sorry?
Is there like a change or something you'd like to see like coming in gaming, like something you'd like to see like maybe male members actually like, do something about, or
Honestly, not really. Quite honestly, most of the male gamers that I encounter don't stand for the misogyny anymore. They will call out their own. There is enough good gamers out there where women don't have as many problems as we used to. And that is, it's a long time coming, but it's finally getting there. I mean, it's not perfect. Mm-hmm. Nothing is perfect, but it is absolutely getting better. So if I could say anything, I would just say to the guys out there who see it happening, don't be afraid to stand up and say something, because nothing shuts one of those guys up faster than being called out by their own. And there's a lot more good people out there who will back you up than bad people who will throw more, tea bags.
Yeah. I mean, I feel good about this with our new member. We're gonna do the closeout with Liz, I think, instead of Ray. Just trip it up a little bit. Do you want to say what he usually says?
What does he usually say?
Or do you want to do your own thing? Deuces.
Deuces?
Meaning he's gonna go take a dump. It's off of here.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Liz, for Well, I feel like it shouldn't be the
replacing
role
rape
of like a woman
permanently,
to educate us. But thank you for shedding some light on something that I don't think any of us have ever experienced.
Happy to give the uterine perspective.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Well, yeah, thank you to our listeners. I feel like I should do that more often. Thank you guys for, just checking us out, listening to
All
us,
three of you.
Weekly, bi-weekly. You guys should have a party. Yeah, check out our Instagram, Invite to Party Podcast. I don't know why I said the Instagram first, because the YouTube has more stuff on it, which I slacked on this last week. There's more stuff. There's stuff on there. You can check out our stuff about.
I liked all of our videos.
Thank you. That was you? Okay.
That was me. I'm the one. Yeah.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I'm going to get more regimented in my scheduling.
There's 4 views on the podcast. Every one of our videos has 1 like. Yeah, that's how good it's going for us.
Yeah, the first one is 3. All right.
Thanks
you got to start somewhere.
For watching and for listening to the podcast.
Look, PewDiePie started somewhere. Look at him now.
Well,
some of our videos have 2 views because I fell asleep and I had to start over again. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
But yeah, check us out every Wednesday. Check out the YouTube channel. There'll be more stuff on there, as we move along. Right now, it's just a lot of stuff on the podcast. Yeah, come to the Discord. You can talk to us. We got guilds for like Final Fantasy. We got groups for C&Ds going. Once Halo's out,
hang out there.
Liz is there. You guys can, ask her. Well, don't.
There's a robotic version of me that hangs out there because I'm.
Yeah, Robo Dave will ban you, and yell at you if you post too much. I love Robo Dave. I love that. I was so happy when I made that picture. I was like, this is perfect.
When you made that, I'm like, Dave's gonna fucking get mad at you.
This is the best thing I've ever made. It's so good. But yeah, so don't anger Robo Dave. But yeah, you come hang out with us. There's always something going on. Get in groups for games, whatever. But yeah, so. Thank you all for listening, and thank you for coming to the party. Peace.
Bye.
Later, yo.
Is that your sign off? Is Chewy just eating the mic?
Oh, poop.
There we go.
I love it. Fantastic. Now Ray needs to pop up out of the back and go, deuces! And then just...
What's up, everybody? I have a cold, I think. It's not COVID. I already had that, don't worry. And I'm vaccinated. But yeah, so if you like that video, like and subscribe. This is the regular podcast episode, so you can actually hear those every Wednesday on whatever platform you want. It's usually a higher quality, I think, than YouTube. So if you want it there, cool. But if you want to see our beautiful faces, yeah, you can definitely hear it here. Whichever, as long as you're hearing a voice and opinion, that's all that matters to me. Just listen to me. No, I'm playing. Thanks for checking us out. Yeah, ding that bell if you want notifications. Keep trying to do more stuff, but life gets in the way. But I try to stay consistent. So, yeah, thanks for checking us out. Hope to see you again. Peace.